Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with Morsels of a Thought number 1828. I have been here to bring you morsels of a thought of what I hope is wisdom. Hopefully, that we all learn the right things to do for ourselves, that we bring more value to the world, and that we help ourselves as well. We read through wisdom. Wisdom is by other people who have written books like these. George J. Chanos, Millennial Samurai, Book One, A Mindset for the 21st Century. I myself am not wise enough to do this, but other people I will read to you will give you their life experiences. And when we get all that, we stand on their shoulders and know what to do, so we are able to commit acts of virtue. Wisdom is knowing the right things to do, virtue is doing it, and action is magic, according to George J. Chanos. Okay, I'm going to reread strengths and weaknesses. Self examination and reflection are important because we all need to take inventory of ourselves to determine our strengths and weaknesses. This is an important concept that many people fail to understand or fully appreciate. From childhood, we are placed in an education system that rewards conformity. We are given standardized tests and graded on a standardized curve. We seldom explore, let alone value or leverage a child's unique gifts. It's like taking a fish and a bird and expecting them both to thrive in the same environment. We need an education system that values and leverages a child's unique strengths while mitigating their weaknesses. Knowing, understanding, and leveraging your unique strengths while mitigating your weaknesses is a key to success. Once you understand your strengths, you can seek out opportunities that allow you to leverage those strengths. Understanding your weaknesses will allow you to mitigate those weaknesses by focusing on areas in need of improvement. People are unique. We all have distinct strengths and weaknesses. Know and understand yours and use them to your maximum advantage. Now we are in the chapter of designing your future, chapter 118. In considering your employment and career options, you first need to ask what's important to you. Is it gaining wealth, status, position, or power? Is it acquiring recognition or fame? Is it to please, satisfy, or impress someone other than yourself, perhaps your family, a spouse, or a love interest, classmates, colleagues, or friends, or the views of society in general? Is it having more time for your family, the flexibility from work to home, the flexibility to work from home, the ability to get time off for travel? Is it having a real passion for your work, doing something you love, a desire to learn, or a desire to help others? Begin your analysis by examining and understanding your motivations and establishing your priorities. Begin your analysis by examining and understanding your motivations and establishing your priorities. The next thing to consider is what are the critical tasks or key responsibilities of a given job or career that you are considering? What skills will be required to excel at those tasks and successfully discharge those responsibilities? Next, ask yourself what specific skills you have that will allow you to succeed in performing the tasks that will likely be expected of you. What are your strengths, existing skills that will help you excel in a position? And what are your weaknesses, required skills that you lack? If you lack the skills required to succeed in a specific job or profession, then pursuing that job or profession at this time is probably a poor choice. There is no point in pursuing a job, trade, or career when you lack the basic skills required to succeed. A better decision would be to take a step back and acquire, at minimum, the core skills required to succeed before attempting to secure such a position, or simply choose a job, trade, or career that is more aligned with your existing skill set. You don't need to have perfected the skills required for a given position before seeking out that position. Your skills can and will develop on the job, but you should at minimum have a strong aptitude and preferably above average competency with regard to the skill set required for the position prior to seeking the position. Below is a list of skills that are commonly required in order to excel at various jobs and professions. Rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 as the lowest and 10 as the highest on each of the below skills. Then identify the skills that you believe will be required to excel at a given position. Do some research to confirm your assumptions concerning what skills are likely to be required of a given position. When you find a match between your skill set and the skills required of a given position, you will have identified a job, trade, or career where you are likely to find success. This is important because you are far more likely to be happy in a job or profession where you can and will excel than in one where you lack the basic skill set required to excel. Now I'm going to read this again. When you find a match between your skill set and the skills required of a given position, you will have identified a job, trade, or career where you are likely to find success. Proficiency in one or more of the below skills is typically required of most jobs and professions. The exact skill set required will depend on the position. How would you rank yourself on the following skills? Let's see if it has more. I think that's really good. Leadership, judgment, organizational, management, strategic, motivational, relationship, communication, teaching, coaching, with delegation, supervision, financial, accounting, mathematical, observational, listening, negotiating, dispute resolution, analytical, writing, public speaking, social media, networking, social, marketing, creative, graphic, design, computer, sales, physical ability, language, technology, technical, typing. So these are all skills that you need to rank yourself on. I would suggest reading back, playing this tape over, or I call it a tape. It's a video. And copying all that down or buying the book, getting the book. After assessing your skill set, consider the skills required of various positions and then decide where you are most likely to find success. Then consider how those positions might meet your overall goals, priorities, and objectives. This should allow you to narrow down the choices that are most likely to lead to a happy, successful, and meaningful life. Finally, consider other intangible issues such as how you feel about the people you would be working with, how you and your family feel about the city you would be working in, and what level of compensation and benefits come with the position. Are you motivated and excited about the position? Do you have a real passion for the work, the mission of the company, and the overall opportunity? Based on these considerations, you should be able to make a good, well-informed decision. Now, we are reading from Book 1 of Millennial Samurai, a mindset for the 21st century by George J. Chanos. He is the former uh, a former Nevada Attorney General. This is what he looks like on the back cover of the book. And we are doing this because knowing the right things to do is having wisdom. Doing it is virtue. So we can do the things that he says in here. These are all a stack of wisdom. This book is incredible to me. I find it probably one of the best books I have read for life skills. Life skills. These are okay. The M.A.P.P. career test. The M.A.P.P. career test is a comprehensive online career test. More than 7 million people in nearly every country in the world have taken the MAP test since its inception in 1995. The 15-minute MAPP test is comprised of 71 different triads. You simply choose which one you would most prefer and least prefer with one left blank. Since there are so many different combinations of answers, there are literally more than 1 trillion different possible test results, more than there are people in the world. More than 3,500 affinity partners, including career counselors, outplacement firms, and school psychologists, use the MAP test to gain insights and counsel their current and prospective students and clients. After completing the test, you can see your results immediately. A MAP package, which is available at various price points, can help you find your ideal career. Your personal test results are scored against 900 jobs, and you can see what jobs are the best fit, along with the education needed, career outlook, and real job openings. Now, this was done in 1995, and there were others that there was at least another one that I took in 1984 or 1985, and it said that I would be a good bean counter. It didn't say that. It said I made like the job of actuary, and it had other jobs in it too. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. Do you know what a bean counter is? That's an actuary. An actuary figures out risk and value. Risk and value. So example, if it would cost $100,000 to put in a traffic light and that would save 3 people from being killed, then you see, that is what being an actuary is like. So get this, I'm not doing it yet. No. How are you perceived? Everything you do or say affects the way you are perceived. Ah, I love that. I love that. How you dress, your grooming, your posture, your hygiene, your breath, your eye contact, your demeanor, your attitude, your handshake, your table manners, how you speak, your phone manners, the format of your resume, the way you phrase a letter, your presence on social media, and your views on social and political issues all affect the impression you make on others. Think about how you may be perceived by others and about how you want to be perceived. Then work with patience, humility, and dedication toward meriting the perception that you want and believe you deserve. Social media is an amazing tool for reaching new audiences and building influence. However, it can also be a liability. Social media can strengthen or weaken a reputation. Think twice before posting anything. Use common sense and good judgment. Read over that tweet or post a second time. Think twice before posting anything. Use common sense and good judgment to make sure it's something you want to post. Read over that tweet or post a second time to make sure it's something you want to post. I will say that during the first part of my eighth show or 11th show, I talked about having been homeless, and I was so embarrassed that I went back and put it in the archive and took it off the air. And I feel that today that is no longer a shameful topic. PTSD was once a shameful topic. Pregnancy was once a shameful topic. Divorce was once a shameful topic. We've got to take these things and put them into the vernacular so that we can discuss the issues that we need to address. That's always very, very important. Okay, George J. Chanos says, If you have any doubts about something you're about to post, give yourself time to think it over and consider if it's still a good idea. Don't rush to post. Post slowly and deliberately. um, we're reading. We're reading from George J. Chanos because I want to give you morsels of a thought. He's got morsels of a thought in here that totally align with my show. Now, we learn the right thing to do, which is having wisdom, and then we create the action, which is creating virtue. Yay. Platforms like, okay, back to the book. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn have democratized media. They have given the individual and potential for significant influence. Facebook has over 2 billion users. Cristiano Ronaldo, a Portuguese footballer, is the most followed individual on Instagram with more than 160 million followers. These statistics are mind-boggling. These platforms have the potential to change governments. They already have by swiftly spreading revolutions in what came to be known as the Arab Spring. Social platforms represent the first wave of the technological revolution, and you have the power to use them. What will you use them for? To post nonsense or trash? To advance your objectives? To help others? Or to change society for the better? How you answer that question will influence how you are perceived, and rightly so. Because I'm not very wise. I'm reading to you what wise people have said through their life experiences that they got a synopsis of, and we are standing on their shoulders to be able to do the right things to do. And that is called creating virtue. That's my show's purpose. Rightly so, rightly so. Okay, back to the book. People have different views. Don't be afraid to express yours. Be thoughtful in doing so. Have good intentions and be respectful. Speak the truth, and others who share your views and beliefs and find value in what you have to share will follow. Now, I want to pause to mention that I need to apologize to some people that I have disrespected before. Do I say their name here? Deanna and Debbie? Anybody else? It's so funny because it reminds me of this little scene on Oprah many years ago. There was a septuplet family that had a son already, about 2 years old, and he's on the bed and he's counting his siblings. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 5, 6, 7. Are there any more? And the whole audience collapses. It is so funny. I remember that scene. So, how are you perceived? How are you perceived? I don't know how I am perceived. I would like people to say so in the comments, please. And in the next volume of Millennial Samurai, in the next section, your opportunities are unlimited. Opportunity, chapter 121. Opportunity comes to all of us in one form or another. Unfortunately, we don't always recognize it. We aren't always ready for it, and we don't always take advantage of it. For example, I could have owned a business when I was 23, but I did not want to. Why not? I don't know, but I wish I had, right? Right? Opportunity is rarely patient. It doesn't normally announce itself, and it sometimes comes disguised as misfortune. We often find opportunity in the most unlikely places. It can come from the most unlikely sources and appear when you least expect it. You need to look for opportunity and recognize it when it does appear, and you need to be prepared to seize it and make the most of it when it does come. The 21st century is the first century in human history that allows individuals to leverage their connections to other individuals via the internet. This generation has the ability to create careers and businesses that have never existed before. Your opportunities are endless. Your opportunities are endless. Make the most of those opportunities by being prepared for them, by looking for them, by recognizing them when they appear, and by embracing them. Certain traits and behaviors attract opportunity. Openness, authenticity, flexibility, tolerance, adaptability, extroversion, integrity, courage, commitment, creativity, gratitude, collaboration, and compassion all attract opportunity. Other traits and behaviors reduce opportunity. Negativity, inauthenticity, inflexibility, rigidity, introversion, dishonesty, fear, ingratitude, selfishness, self-centeredness, and greed all reduce opportunity. Interesting. I wonder how much I would have paid my employees. I look back, I don't know. The value of work. I mean, I would have had to find out. And at that time, there was no internet. So I would have had to go to the library and look for a book called the Occupational Outlook Handbook, OOO, Occupational Outlook Handbook. And I would have had to look at average salaries and cost of living indices. So, indices, not indexes, indices. The value of work. Theodore Roosevelt, 26th President of the United States, said, "Far and away, the best prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard and work at work worth doing." The work that you choose to do over the course of your life will profoundly impact your quality of life. Work is essential because it provides us with money, which influences our ability to access virtually all essential goods and services. Work impacts our physical, social, and mental well being, facilitates social integration, and influences virtually all our relationships. It gives us purpose, work, self respect, and the chance to make a contribution to our family and society. Conversely, unemployment, a lack of work, or work that we find unfulfilling robs us of these opportunities, which can lead to frustration and despair. In a society that equates personal success with wealth and status, loss of work and low paying work relegate individuals to the margins of society. This can have a devastating effect on an individual's self image and self esteem. When considering what work to do, try to be thoughtful and selective. Whenever possible, look for jobs that keep you motivated, engaged, and committed. This is the kind of work at which you are more likely to excel. Look for jobs or careers that you enjoy, that leverage your innate talents, and that allow you to realize your goals and aspirations. Now, you have to have a great aspiration. That is an important thing in YXLST that I study. George J. Chanos says, "The best possible work is work that you love." Look for jobs, careers, and or business that allow you to make a meaningful contribution to yourself, your family, your employer, your coworkers, your partners, and society as a whole. This alone will allow you to lead a more meaningful life. Whenever possible, try to find work that you love, work that is consistent with your values, and work that allows you to generate the income you desire. Don't work for places that do falsehoods and things like that that you know you don't like. Don't work for companies that trick people. Don't work for companies that don't really provide a service. Try to work for yourself in a form of wisdom, knowing the right thing to do and knowing how you can maximize your own personal experiences. And someday you can write a synopsis of wisdom so that we can all follow you and create your kind of virtue. I hope I inspire you to do something virtuous today and we all get some wisdom and get entertained and educated. Okay? Old Kinderhook.